Hello Connective, welcome back. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you don't know how I work, I put a bunch of different cards on the table from different decks to tell a story and we talk about it. If you like the content on this channel, feel free to subscribe. Don't smash anything. And with that being said, what I'm doing today is a little bit different. I wanted to come online and do like a collective reading for all signs. I'm going to pull cards that are a little different, so because I wanted a little bit different messages. We're gonna see how that works out. And of course, the messages are going to be a little bit shorter. There will be no extended, so I wanted to let you guys know what was going on there. It's funny, I said feel free to subscribe. You know, I want to share some YouTube analytics with you guys. So if you look at my channel somewhere between like the last week and the last month, about somewhere between like 92% and 96% of the people that watch me aren't subscribed. So I get an A, a solid A, and watchers that aren't subscribed. So if it's against your nature to subscribe, I would say, you know, never ask you to do that. If you're a subscriber, if you subscribe to other channels, you know you're going to come back. I tell you, you might as well subscribe. and you can hit the like button if you like. I always say don't smash it. You can handle it how you like. It does help the channel to get the messages out. A lot of times we want to get the messages out. The reason why I'm doing this channel today is because, or this video today is because I wanted to, you know, kind of give people who are by themselves today something to do. So, you know, you can watch your sun sign, or you can watch, you know, your moon sign, or any sign, or just watch the whole video if you want, you know, to hang out. That's the whole idea behind this today. I wanted to record it a little bit earlier, but I worked a very long shift yesterday and just didn't think it was a good idea. So here we are now. The other thing that I wanted to say is people have been leaving like little bits and pieces of comments, and sometimes I know on this channel it's a little bit hard to interact, it seems like people do want to interact. So I just want to remind you guys as well about the Facebook group. I've said before that it's fairly new, so there's not a lot of people on there, but the link's always in the description. If you ever want to join, you guys want to talk about a video, or you want to talk about your situation, you know, that the video highlighted, or just, you know, in general, that would probably be the best place to, you know, talk to me or talk to others that, you know, are going through similar things that you are. That's really why I created this channel, and really why I created my Facebook group, is so people could, like, you know, support each other. I mean, I don't have all the answers, and I haven't gone through everything in a spiritual awakening, but someone has. And if two people can come together and someone can help someone else that's, you know, gone through something or is going through something, that was the whole reason why I created this forum, is for people to come together. So definitely coming together in the comments in these videos, sure. But if you want to interact, you know, a little bit easier, there's the Facebook group. The link will be in the description. And so I just want to let you guys know that that is there. Also, the other thing I wanted to do today, usually I go through like water, earth, and then air and fire. And so I decided that we were going to do Capricorn today first, because Capricorn, when your birthday is around this time of year, your presents are combined, and I get it. So we're going to honor Capricorn first, and then we're going to go through Taurus and Virgo like how we would normally in that succession, and then we'll do the water, air, and the fire afterwards. So again, we're probably gonna have to keep it a little bit shorter, obviously, because we don't want this video to be like 12 hours long. The other thing we're gonna do is I am gonna use this Akashic deck. I'm just gonna pull cards. I am not going to wait for jumpers. So of course, you know, it'll be, like I said, a little bit faster. But for the Akashic deck, we're gonna read everything intuitively, but we will read the card that comes out for the Akashic deck, because you can read those intuitively, but if you really want to like kind of tap into what the Akashic forces are trying to tell you, then, you know, you're going to want to just at least look at the description in the book. So today, for the purposes of these readings, they'll just be messages for you, just general messages for you, maybe something that your guides have been trying to tell you, something that the universe has been trying to tell you, something that you've been missing. We're just going to sort of pull, I want to say random cards. There is a little bit of a form to this, but for an additional card or something, it could be any of these decks on this side here. It just depends on what the reading is looking like. So these are really going to be designed as like a message, but like individual messages for you, just something to help you along right now, something general. So what I'm going to do with this is just probably cut it and then just pull it off the bottom. So for the Akashic card that we have, it's going to be card number 15, which is a major arcana, which is the Muse. Very interesting card. I want to say let's just dig into it right now to have it, to just get that, so that when the other messages come out, we can just sort of jump into it. If I can find number 15. Okay, hold on. And this, my little light here really helps, so we're going to keep using that. Okay, so the muse plays a song of upliftment and imagination. The petals of inspiration drift upon the wind, filling the air with light and creativity. This card shows a time of very heightened resourcefulness and inventiveness for you. Any creative project, new or old, can receive exceptional energy now, both from you and from the universe. Call to the spirit muses and let them join you and the creator within to lift your project to the skies. Okay, so let's see what else is coming out for you as the creator, right? These are all shuffled, so again, we're just gonna try to move it along, but I'm gonna move them around. Sometimes they tell me how cooperative they're gonna be. By the way, we are talking to Capricorn. We're gonna pull 2 cards. We're not gonna go upside down. These decks could be going any which way. And then we're going to do 1 Alice in Wonderland. All right, so I didn't hold them up for you. We will at the end when I get them all, but we've got that muse with the creativity, and then this community card, and then yin yang for the energy oracle. And then for Alice in Wonderland, we have Such a Curious Dream. And then we're going to pull 2 from the Moonology that kind of tells us like maybe who might involved, or like the messages that are going along with this. But it looks like it's a possibility that some of you guys are either creating in your dream, or you're doing something in your dream. You're either building like friendships, or you're solving problems for yourself. You could be getting ideas in your dreams. Let's see what we got. All right, so we got believe in your good luck. That's first quarter moon in Sagittarius. So for Capricorn, you might have a Sagittarius with you. And then new moon in Scorpio, go deeper. All right, so again, is anybody having problems creating? Do you not believe in yourself? I'm gonna grab that blind spot. Let's see what's up. Let's see what's up. We're going to read the blind spots intuitively unless we really just don't know what the card is trying to tell us. And we are going to take 1 off the bottom, just 1 on the blind spot cards. Capricorn, what's your blind spots? Number 33. Number 33 is... Ooh, just passed it. Number 33 is very long. Shame. Okay. Capricorn. Okay. All right, so we've got the muse up here, we've got the community, we've got yin yang, yeah. Okay, so are you trying to create something that you don't think that you deserve? I mean, it could be community, it could be a relationship, it could be just a better relationship with your family. I mean, it could be something like that. It could be something else, something, you know, through your job, or if you have a business, or something you're trying to balance in your personal life. You're trying to do something, but you need inspiration. You need something to give you some idea, right? You're getting these dreams, but you don't know for sure if you should follow those dreams. Not because the dreams are unclear, mind you, but because you don't believe in your own good luck. You think if you start something that it might crumble and fall. And you need to understand, Capricorn, that you don't, you know, a lot of times with us, if we don't get into our own way, a lot of things are just blessed. I mean, everything's blessed, but if you want to sit there and kind of like throw some kind of imbalance into it, then it does kind of go sideways in a way that you don't necessarily expect. It might not necessarily be bad news, but it could be something that you didn't necessarily want to encounter, and I get that too. But you know, you do need to go deeper, and you need to look where this like shame comes from. I mean, shame specifically, but some of you guys know, oh, I don't feel shame, but I feel this. It's going to be the same thing. It's going to be the same situation. The same thing's going to be holding you back, and it's probably something that you know what it is. This is your blind spot, which means that it's, you know, no chance it's sitting in your shadows, or your, you know, it's your, you know, unknown to you. But if we call it out, we say it's shame, and you know, you could go, okay, well, do I have shame? And then like literally figure it out, right? And if you can't, then go deeper, because the situation itself is that you're trying to do something. See, this is sometimes why we talk to people and they don't want to hear that they're like, you know, the control of their own situation, right? You tell them something like that and they get upset. But the thing is if you could just tell them how to solve the problem a lot of times, then they can embrace the fact that they have control over the situation, right? It doesn't matter how it is. I was just talking to somebody about that the other day. Like, if you didn't know, like if you had an issue and you were trying to solve it and your friends couldn't help you and nobody else had ever solved it before because they didn't know, and like you just went to sleep and you just woke up with the answer, believing in your good luck, right? Would you care how you got that answer? Would you introduce shame into it? Oh, that came really easy. I didn't want that, right? No, you'd say if you did have that response to it, you'd ask yourself why? Why don't I deserve that? Why shouldn't that come to me? Because it did. Right in my dreams, right? I think we're gonna pull. You don't need any like real well, you know what? Let's do the dragons. The dragons are pretty inspirational here. This is the dragon oracle cards, right? So we're just gonna pull one more card for you, Capricorn, and figure out like there's any like real inspiration or anything that you can look at and kind of use to get through this. Okay. So this is the orange dragon. Brings soul families and communities together. So the orange dragon brings soul families and communities together. It says spread belonging, warmth, and oneness. Bring people everywhere together. Okay, so if the thing that you're trying to do, okay, remember it's the muse. If the thing that you're trying to do is actually trying to bring people together, then I would say in order to figure out how to solve that problem, I would go ahead and ask those other people, right? Just, you know, ask someone, say, how do I get this thing moving, right? Sometimes when I'm talking about stuff like that and issues that people have, I do tell people to ask other people, ask other people. If you want to believe in your own good luck, do that. And move forward, but make a decision, even if it's a little bit, you know, you start moving, but it's not exactly where you want to go, you know, you can just reevaluate the situation. You can just reevaluate the situation and keep trying at this, right? Release shame. Any lower vibration is not helping you out. Even if you knew you had it and you couldn't identify what havoc it was wreaking in your life, you would still know that if you got rid of it, you'd be better off. You'd just be better off. So release the shame. If you can get some kind of clarity in your dreams, ask the question at night. You know, angels, guardians, ancestors, higher self, can you please help me solve this problem tonight in my sleep? And then when you wake up, see how you feel. See what ideas come to you. Just believe that you can get that information that way. If you're asking questions and you don't believe that anybody can actually help you, then again, you need to rethink that, because it's not going to get you in the direction that you're trying to go. So, you know, as far as trying to do something, you know, you can ask people, you can try to look at it from a balanced point of view. If you know that every time you see it, you're trying to do something and you realize that there's one piece of it that doesn't work, there is balance to this relationship. You just need to find it. Like I said, if you need to ask and wait, then ask and wait, but make sure you're open for the response. Believe in your good luck, or just search from within, go deeper. Go deeper, but get rid of whatever's holding you back, because it's not going to help you out, Capricorn. All right, so let's move on to Taurus. I have the cards because I don't want to skip anybody, right? So usually when I tell you guys that the cards are mostly shuffled, it's because usually I've shuffled and shuffled and shuffled them. And then when I put the cards back, I just put them in some random spot. And then that's why when I say they're mostly shuffled, I haven't shuffled them yet since I've done that. So I do like to always move them around a little bit, obviously for that reason, but also just because when I am moving them around, they kind of tell me, you know, how cooperative they're going to be. And so, yeah, let's pull cards for Taurus. Oh, actually, we have to start with the Akashic. Okay, let's do that. I always grab the energy cards first. All right, so yeah, so Taurus, let's pull the Akashic force that's at play in your life right now, see what wants to come up. Any messages for Taurus? Pull it off the bottom. What do we have? The Light of the World, another major arcana. It's kind of a dark card, but that's what it is. The Light of the World. Whoo, is this you or somebody you're dealing with, Taurus? Let's find out. All right, so we're just gonna shuffle these like 2 more times, and then we're gonna pull 2 cards off the bottom for Taurus. What's going on with Taurus? Let's see. I'm gonna get the cards on the table and then we'll grab the book. Whoa, here we go again with people. We got Caring Connections, put them on this side, and then we have 6th chakra, Archangel Metatron. There you are. Third eye. Light. Are you guys? All right, we're going through a spiritual awakening. Everybody's going through a spiritual awakening, but you know, what I call an active spiritual awakening. Taurus, you're supposed to be like the light of the world. Let's see what we have for Alice. What's your perception of this? The right way. Learning to create what you desire. Another dark card, but you've got your third eye and caring connections. So this doesn't necessarily have to be like a love relationship. It could just be, you know, a better relationship with your family, or just, you know, better friends or more friends or something to that, you know, in that nature. The Light of the World. I'm kind of getting a message. I don't know if that's what it's supposed to be. Let's just pull the moons. Be humble and attend to the details. So we've got first quarter moon in Leo, which is be humble, and last quarter moon in Virgo, attend to the details. So Taurus, it could have like a Virgo or a Leo in this scenario here. And, you know, sometimes the blind spot just completes the whole story here. Whoops, because, you know, a lot of times too, when you look at readings and you kind of go, you know, hey, that doesn't look very hard, right? I'm the light of the world with my third eye open, wanting caring connections the right way. I'm humble and I attend to the details. That's not hard at all. And then we pull the blind spot, and it's like some weird belief that gets in the way of like everything. It wouldn't even matter what you have on the table, because it just gets in the way of everything. Okay, this is card number 26. I don't know if I showed you guys the last sigil, but I am trying to get through it without, I like to talk. So what do we got here? 26. So yeah, I want to make sure it's not like a 12-hour video. Impact. Okay. 26 is impact. So let's go ahead actually and read our, here, let me see what that is. I know I just hit my microphone. The Light of the World, number 10. That's funny. I feel like when I was getting ready to get the last card, like I flipped right to number 10. Didn't see what it was. Yeah, okay. So let's share this Akashic force with Taurus here. An old sage holds a glowing lantern and knocks on a door with no latch. A young woman inside is too distracted to answer the door. Your divine being is trying to get your attention. All it takes is a moment of your awareness to open the door. Though your life may be busy, the opportunity now presents itself for you to move into a higher awareness. It's a great time to open to your higher self. And, sorry, I almost dropped this book. All right, hold on. It's a great time to open to your higher self and its wisdom and powers. It is your soul, your eternal being who approaches, but it is up to you and only you to open the door. All right. You do that by taking real and regular action and knowing and feeling the wise and radiant being you are forever. Through meditation and study, you can own that enormous love, power, and vision. You can make every day sacred by going within. Once you do, you will know radiant and greater power in every step and with every word. You will be able to bring this magnificent force to your world, changing your life forever. So, yeah, this is kind of like what we were saying. It is you. And it's telling you that you need to pay attention because someone is trying to talk to you. It's you. Your higher self is trying to talk to you. And your third eye is like separate from that, but it probably either has something to do with like activating or using your third eye, or separately your third eye is trying to activate, but because you're disconnected from yourself, you don't really realize what's actually happening. And it may or may not be affecting your relationships, or it might be that somebody might come in and it like, you know, that relationship kind of like activates this, I want to say in a positive way, because you have the right way here. And a lot of times what happens is when things start to get like activated and we start to like see our true gifts, you know, again, I always say you have to be humble, be humble, be humble, because, you know, you may think, I got this wired, right? I know everything that's going on around here. And then something new will happen. It'll throw you for a loop and it'll be scary, right? So be humble. You never know what's around the corner. You are trying to manifest. You are trying to do something from a pretty powerful position, Taurus, right? You have people around you too that can actually help, but you also have yourself, which you actually can actually help, and you have yourself trying to get through, which really is the right way. I mean, usually when I'm, you know, trying to talk, like solve a problem or trying to figure something out or trying to make something happen, I'm always talking to my higher self. I know my higher self is watching, so I just talk to my higher self all the time, about a lot of things. So keep that in mind, Taurus. We're going to pull one more card for you. So if we're trying to do that, and I think, okay, let's pull. This is the Archangel Power Tarot. We haven't actually used these cards. I did get these cards for this channel, but we just haven't broken them out yet. The messages are pretty decent. They are kind of like equivalent to like tarot. It's tarot. But, you know, of course the messages are more like angel driven. All right, so we're just going to pull one card from the bottom, like from the split on this one, the bottom. So what do we got? The Page of Ariel. Reliable, clever, educated, balanced. An excellent opportunity will be offered to you. Scholarships or the pursuit of education. Time to get to work. Wow. It's a pretty card. Hope you can see it. But yeah, that's basically telling me that for this situation for you, Taurus, that you're going to be able to break through this, whatever it is. You're going to be able to figure out what's going on. You're going to be able to get in touch with your higher self. I mean, that somebody's already trying, so all you really have to do is listen. And honestly, you know, this book mentioned it, but meditation, that really is the way you want to go there, if you're trying to get in touch with your higher self. In fact, Taurus, what I would suggest is go like on YouTube or something and find some theta waves. You'll sit down, put the theta waves, put headphones on, okay? Put theta waves on. There's different kinds. So if you find something that's music that bothers you, just choose something else, right? And then sit down and then just close your eyes. And what'll happen is the headphones will block out all the other stuff. Sometimes you'll think, oh, it's been quiet all day, I'll just put it on. And then people start yelling outside. Just put the headphones on. It's a different experience when the music's going into your ears. But also with the theta waves, it automatically puts you in a hypnotic state. So when you sit down to meditate, you're already starting to connect. And then you just have to sit there. And I would say, you know, 10 to 20 minutes. If you have a hard time with 20 minutes, start with 10. But if you did this every day, I promise you, you will hear your higher self. It may not be like when you open your eyes from meditating. You might go to sleep, wake up. You might get a breakthrough. You might get an answer. Or you might get something else. But if you're trying to get into, if your higher self is trying to get in touch with you, and you're like, I don't, do what I suggested. Just do it. If it's not working for a while, just do it longer. Just do it more. Don't give up. People always give up right before the thing is about to happen for them. So don't do that. Okay? And you'll be able to get in touch with your higher self. All right. So next one is going to be Virgo. Let's put some of these cards back. Going to get another Akashic card out. Where is the Akashic? There it is up top. So we'll put that there. We'll get ready to shuffle those. We'll put these energy cards back. So these are a little bit different messages. I mean, I always say if you pick different cards, you get different messages, which is the whole reason why I did that. But Also, like I said, whoever wants the messages to just sound the same. Let's go with the third earth sign and see if it's like similar to the other earth signs, like how it normally is, or if it's just going to be completely different. So again, moving them around after we put that one card back. And we'll pull one. Whoops. And then, yeah, I think it'll be a little bit easier to get the cards on the table first, look at the blind spot, and then grab the Akashic, like the book for the Akashic, and talk about what that card is really meant to be. Okay, so what do we have? We have, one of my favorites, the War of the Roses. 6 of Roses. That would be like, if you were playing with tarot, that would be like your cups. Let's get the energy on the table. War of the Roses. I mean, we already know. I can see the card, like, looks like a civil war. All right, let's see. So, energy cards, woo! The World and Angel of Love for Virgo. What we got cooking with War of the Roses? What's going on here? What's our perception? What's Virgo's perception of it? Let's see. Yeah, well, I'm starting to learn, by the way, you guys, since this is a reading for everybody, I might as well say it. But, you know, a lot of times I say our, and I'm not a Virgo. I mean, I'm a Virgo rising, but, you know, I only watch my rising sign if I'm really just trying to solve like a day-to-day problem. And I always say are. I'm like, really feel like when I'm doing these readings, I'm putting myself in the situation. We'll see if that's true. So we've got believe, strange encounters. Uh-oh. Why? All right. Let's see who else is involved. Right? Who else is involved with Virgo? What is going on here? All right. War of the Roses and the World. That's the only thing that's throwing me off right now. What do we got? First quarter moon in Capricorn, unleash your kindest self. So it might be a Capricorn. And with this Virgo, who else we have? Last quarter moon in Sagittarius, practice gratitude. Practice gratitude and unleash your kindest self. Okay. All right. Somebody is going towards something in love. Somebody is trying to go towards something in love. And, well, practice gratitude is on the table. So it tells me that you're trying to manifest some kind of love. I actually have the Angel of Love here, so it could be any kind of love. I have the World here, so it could be like what somebody or people would be considered to be like the ultimate love. But we're also being told to believe and to be nice. So, and I don't mean unleash your kind of self as necessarily being nice, but generally, yes. I feel like somebody is like not approachable. All right, so what's our blind spot? Card number 12. The blind spot is your goodness. Okay, we have gotten this card before. Oh, this is the one that looks like it has hearts on it. Lots of hearts on the table. Okay, your goodness. You know what? Just because we're going to grab that Akashic book, and I don't want to lose sight, I'm just going to write it down real quick. All right. No, I'm just totally looks like somebody's looking for love. Okay, so 6 of Roses. Where's my roses? All right. Okay, so one more. Oh, so everybody that's been watching lately and has gotten the garden and the gate, the 5 of Roses is the garden, by the way. So we have that nightmare to look forward to. All right, so card numbers. So the 6 of the Roses, the War of the Roses. Storm clouds gather in the sky. 2 lines of mounted knights stand in the ready, facing each other across a clear field of battle. The left side carries the banner of the white rose, and the right side carries the red rose. This card depicts a war within a relationship and or a battle within your heart about a relationship. Most often, this relationship is romantic in nature, but this card could also refer to a coworker, partner, boss, or family member. There could be power plays, and at the very least, there is a lack of reciprocity and communication. I think that's actually the end of that. Oh, wait. you are at an impasse. Your intuition or your spirit, the white rose, has told you that this experience is not a supportive one, but your passions, fears, and needs, the red rose, keep you from listening. You have tried to bring the two together as indicated by the dirty flag with the combined white and red rose on the ground, but what's happening in this relationship is not compatible with your spirit's view for you. So there you stand, your spirit and your passions just watching and waiting. This situation is nothing less than karmic, and it is time to listen and take action. Awareness, vision, and self-honoring are required now for you to position yourself best and make plans to leave the battlefield. Okay. So I do feel like the person that I'm talking to for this particular reading, Virgo, is like either, you know, an empath or a light worker or both. I mean, I just saw this your goodness again, which usually comes out for empaths. But I do feel like, because I get it, I get being in a relationship and trying to hold it together. But a lot of times the other person is not... They're not. Right? And you've got your eye on this, and you've got your eye on this, and you're sitting there wholeheartedly believing that this is going to come, and you're already unleashing your kind of self. You don't need to be told to be nice, even in situations that are volatile. But it's hard to see what you can practice gratitude about because you've got this battlefield that you're standing on. You want to be here doing this, right? Like here, but instead you're here. Right? You're believing that something's going to go forward. You might even believe if you're good enough that you'll get what you want. But this card is saying that it's your own, you know, your own stuff that's kind of keeping you there. I mean, obviously your goodness, you know, usually it's got something to do with, you know, recognizing your self-worth, what you're giving and what you're getting back. You know, especially if you're standing here, because this is saying romance. It's saying, yes, it could be, you know, work, but romance, right? And I usually consider her to be like a lover. Yeah, the epitome of love, maybe any kind of love. Sure. I mean, she looks like she could be, you know, a mother, right? But the reason why I think of it that way is, you know, I don't know. It's like all the pink and the just... I look at her, I see romantic love. It's an old movie. Did you guys ever see War of the Roses? Virgo, if you haven't seen War of the Roses and this is your reading, you might want to watch it. It's with Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner. They're the roses who meet each other and have children. Danny DeVito, if you like him. It's a really good example of, like, with this card, the War of the Roses, it's a really good example of like a depiction of things just literally, the downward spiral of things falling apart, literally. So it's one of those things where, I mean, as far as movies go for watching it, it's not terrible. It's entertaining. Some of the stuff they do to each other is kind of funny. I mean, it just depends on where your head is. But, you know, when you see this card, even just by name, it's like this ridiculous, ongoing argument that needs to end. We're trying to keep it alive. We're like, I know I can have this with this person. I know I can have this with this person. I'm being patient. I'm kind. There's nothing wrong with the way I'm treating this person. I should be able to hang on to this person. Think about the other stuff that you have that you appreciate. Let this person go if this person wants to go. If you're being super nice to this person, you're over giving to this person, or you're just giving to this person and this person isn't giving back to you, Virgo, then just let go of this person and believe that someone else will come in, because they will. They will. And I think for you, we're going to go with the dragon. We're going to see if we can get a dragon for Virgo. Tell us, give us the strength to get through this a little bit. I mean, the message here ultimately is about letting go. You could choose not to do that if you want, Virgo. I always talk about that in the extendeds, what might happen if you choose not to do that. It could take a really long time to learn the lesson that was in front of you the entire time it's possible. I mean, nobody's telling you to leave if you don't want to leave, but when you're ready to leave, then you'll be ready to leave. Somebody will have already told you, kind of thing. I'm sorry, I hate to say it like that. Sometimes we just drag things out for ourselves. That other person doesn't really suffer for it that much. They got to be with you. Right? This is Dusky Pink Dragon from Andromeda. Prepares all your chakras to embody higher love. Accept and radiate higher love. Touch others with its flame. This is what I'm talking about. If you're standing on the battlefield, it's really hard to see that. It's really even hard to see. You could be standing on the battlefield with her and it would be hard to see that. So that's why a lot of times you just got to walk away from the battlefield. You got to understand that sometimes your goodness is just wasted on people, and you need to believe that there's something else out there, because there's something always waiting to come through. Something that you want. Right, Virgo? All right, let's go to the next guy. Who's the next guy? I think we're in water signs now. Cancer. Cancer. So, Cancer, I expect more of you to watch your videos. Like, Cancer. Where is Cancer? Sagittarius has shown up. See, I can clown you guys because you're all in the same video right now. All right, so let's get these cards back in, move them around, figure out what's going on. That's Alice for Cancer. What's going on for Cancer, guys? I'm not sure how good I'm doing on time right now. I suspect it's not terrible. I could probably keep better track, but you know, my intentions with this video as well was I didn't just want to throw out 4 minutes of, you know, gobbledygook and then like leave you hanging and be like, okay, you know, next sign, and you'd be like, what the hell, what am I supposed to do with that? So I did want to have like a little bit more of a full message. So hopefully we're delivering on that. Like I said, this is the first time we're doing this, so we'll figure out if you like it or not. You guys can always tell me in the comments if you like it or not. We can do more of these. Like I said, though, there's no extended. Okay, Cancer, card number 20, another major arcana. Will, wisdom, and mind. There's a crest on there. Some of you guys look like you don't mean, like you just seriously, you're not playing around with whatever it is you're trying to do. Will, wisdom, and mind, but I have like 4 points on this, so we'll get into that. Let's get the other cards on the table. Will, wisdom, and mind. That's it. Actually, that card is very majestic. I mean, maybe it's the crown. Maybe it's not. We'll find out. Let's see, Cancer. What do you got going on? You already look kind of, you know, interesting just with one card on the table right now. Let's see what's going on underneath the energy of it all. Oh, I recognize that card upside down. Fourth chakra, Archangel Raphael. Our heart's on the table with our mind. Attachment. All right. You might be attached to something good. We're just going to check this out, Cancer. We're going to see what your perception of this is. Figure it out. All right. Heart and mind with attachment. I don't even know where to take that right now. Follow your own good advice. Trust yourself. You know what is best for you. This almost kind of looks like, not indecision, but like you're trying to make a decision, and like between like what your heart is telling you to do and what your mind is telling you to do. And this doesn't necessarily have to be relationships. This could be like a job or something, you know? But there's an attachment there that's kind of like making it hard. It's either skewing the, you know, the picture, so that when you do make a decision, you're not sure if that's the right decision to go, or you do have an idea, but you don't know if it's going to work. You don't know if it's even a good idea, right? Well, let me ask you this, first of all. Is it an idea that you love? Because if this is an idea that you're like really passionate about right now, then it could be your fear getting in the way. It could be a good idea and you're just afraid to execute it. If you're not crazy about this idea, it might not be the one. You might be still waiting for the right idea. So you have new moon in Leo, shine. So with Cancer, there could be a Leo involved. And then you have first quarter moon in Gemini, speak your world into being. So this is kind of telling me that your idea is good. So what are you attached to? We're going to find out when we read that Akashic card too. Let's just pull this blind spot. I think we might pull a totally different third card this time. Maybe. We'll see. All right, Cancer. What is our blind spot here while we're trying to balance our heart and our mind? What are we attached to? Can we get anything out of this blind spot card that will let us know? Pull off the bottom, because we like to do that. Card number 11. That one sounds pretty new too. Let's see what's going on. You probably didn't get to see it. Sometimes when I watch my own videos, I'm like, ah! Sorry about that. I don't mean to do that. Sometimes, you know, you could be in the kitchen doing dishes. I don't know. Let's say free will. Your blind spot is free will. Oh my God. Sorry. I didn't mean to be dramatic, Cancer. Okay. Yeah. You're holding yourself back. Okay. Okay, so we got mind, we got will, wisdom, mind. We have want on the table. It says will, but we do know what we want. We have our will, right? We also have our wisdom and our mind. So we didn't just come at this half-cocked with whatever idea that we were trying to, whatever it was that we were trying to do. This is not something that we haven't thought about. We not only want it, but it's something wise, and we've put thought into it, right? We actually love it too, or we are going to love it. We might be afraid of it right now because we're attached to maybe like things that happened. Maybe we tried something in the past and it didn't work out. So we're afraid to like move forward, especially when it counts, because we feel like if this doesn't work for us, we don't know what we're going to do, right? But here we are being told to like speak it into existence. Like sometimes people tell people like when you have an idea, don't tell other people. And you know, if you've had stuff in the past where you've done that and then your idea never came to fruition, you kind of think, oh, I shouldn't have shared it with everybody. It's kind of like partly true. Like, yes, people may be like, oh, that's not a good idea. You shouldn't do that. You just shouldn't do that, right? But at the same time, you know, it might actually be a really good idea. It might be a good idea, right? But maybe they just don't believe in you, or they feel like, you know, you can't do that, or whatever's going on, right? And so you're either, you know, listening to them because you can see what they're talking about. You go, yeah, I tried that thing last time and it didn't work out. You know, and again, you have free will. Nobody's ever stopping you. Nobody's ever stopping you from doing the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And you won't know if it's going to be what you want it to be, or even more than that, unless you do it, right? You have to follow your own advice, right? You have to follow your own good advice, Cancer, because this doesn't just say advice. This is follow your own good advice, and this is telling you to shine, which means when you move forward, that you will shine. But you have to do it with that belief. You have to let go of the attachment of you're unprepared, or you don't have everything that you need to do this, or you're not good enough, or your idea might not be that great, right? You have to change that. This is what you have to tell yourself what you know is going to happen, that it's going to be successful, that people are going to love it. You have free will to do both. You can take this thing down a downward spiral with all this preparation and like stability and like foundation, or you can take it to an awesome place just by thinking about it in a way that's positive, right? Seriously, Cancer. What did we say? We're going to pull this one. We're going to pull, we might pull another one too, because depending on what this tells us, we might pull one more. We might pull one more for Cancer. Every once in a while we do something different for somebody. Everybody's fair game in this one. Alchemy. So basically what it's saying is if you have something and it's an idea and you're trying to turn it into something that's solid or something that you love, or you're trying to combine these two elements together, these are two very, very strong elements. If you could just close your eyes for a minute. For those of you who are trying to do this for real, think about what it is that you want out of this. Think about what it is that you love. Close your eyes and put your hand on your heart. Just wait. Just don't think about anything. Just wait for like 2 minutes. Just wait and breathe and let your heart and your mind just sync up. Just let them meet. Because what you have here, your mind is powerful, but it can jack you up depending on what you're trying to do. Your heart is always pure with its advice, right? So if you link your heart, which is stronger than your mind, and you have both of those forces working for you, you don't have any choice but to shine. You're going to take whatever thing isn't working out, or whatever thing didn't work out, or whatever thing isn't working out in your mind, and you're going to fix it. Or you're just going to take a great idea and you're going to turn it into something amazing with this alchemy card. You have to follow your own good advice. You have to believe for somebody else? Probably. You have to believe. You have to believe that you can do it. You have to follow your own advice. You have to do it in a way where when you move forward, you shine. When you talk, when you speak, only speak positive things. Do not speak negative things about what you're trying to do. You're not going to help yourself out. You have free will. You can do it the hard way, or you can do it the easy way. I would suggest to you that you create a momentum so that no matter what happens, it's positive. Right? We will. We'll move on to Pisces now, because any card that I get for you at this point is going to be the same thing. It's going to be the same exact thing. It's going to reinforce what we're already talking about. This attachment, it's not that big of a deal. You could let it go at any time, especially if you thought about whatever it was that you were attached to that's not helping you out. Because again, this thing is holding you back. It's not like, I still have something to gain from this. Nope. And the thing is you can hang on to it if you want. It eventually will either leave on its own, or you'll get tired of it. You won't see it like you do anymore because of the way things are. When we start to realize sometimes that things can be better than how they are, then we start realizing what other things need to go. And I say it all the time, when you're on a spiritual awakening, sometimes it's stuff you want to keep. You don't want to let it go. I'm not done with this yet. The universe goes, I'm trying to bring this in. You don't realize how great it'll be. Still worrying about where that other thing's going to go. Sometimes it's people. Sometimes they're trying to go and we won't even let them. We're like, oh, don't go yet. The universe is like, are you kidding me? I'm trying to bring you somebody else that's better. Community. This is the Eight of Roses. This is people sitting at the table, like sharing. It's not showing you the whole table. It's like leaving it to your imagination as to how many people can literally be sitting at this table, Pisces. Let's see if we can get other messages for this one right here. What's going on for Pisces? We knew this video was going to be a little bit longer. I still don't even know if it's going to upload. I've had problems in the past with long videos in the beginning, especially this channel for sure has been a progression. So we're going to see how long this video ends up being and if it has to be cut into to be uploaded. We'll find out. Find out, Pisces. If we do have to cut it, it'll probably be after your reading, right? All right, what do we have for You seen that card lately? I have. I'll tell you what it is, just in case you don't know. That's adjacent possibilities. And this is rest and rejuvenation. All right. I don't have enough cards on the table for it to warrant this, what's coming into my head right now. But it looks like you might have to take a break from some people, like a permanent break from some people, so that some other people will come through. Let me see if that's what that is. Manage to be glad. That's an ending card, usually. Because what happens is we kind of get like, oh, you know, I liked that person, or I had fun with that person, or I didn't want that relationship to end. Maybe we don't even have like a huge opinion about that person, but maybe we did something we like to do with them, like go golfing or something. They're like our only golfing person. And so instead of like, you know, being able to really let go of that relationship is tied to golf. And so that can be a little bit, you know, oh, I want to hang on to that relationship when you could just hang on to golf and go find somebody else, like seriously. Especially if this other person that we're talking about is like malfunctioning. Sorry. I hate to say it like that, but you know, you go with them and they do something every single time, and it's not even maybe necessarily something that's just annoying to you, like, oh, this person is being perfectly fine, it's just you're annoyed by their behavior, and you know, it could be, wow, dude, these cards, it could be something that they really shouldn't be doing, something that you don't even want to be a part of. I know I said golfing, but you never know. You go on the golf course and people start doing drugs, like, you never know. Well, I know, but wasn't information I asked for anyway. So we'll just move on. Let's move on, Pisces. We've got full moon in Virgo. Take inspired action. It's more leaving energy. New moon in Sagittarius. Focus on the positive. It's managed to be glad. Focus on the positive. Look at all these places you can go. Take a little break for a second, but you need to take inspired action when you do go, because you've got this like community sitting here. We will read that one. Let's see what the blind spot is. Pisces blind spot on the golf course. Sorry. One of my intentions for this video is to not be boring or shaking my finger at you. What do we got? Card number 72. Looks a little familiar. Maybe not. Let's see. What is your blind spot, Pisces? What have we got? You know, it's like way back here. Whoops, not that far back. All right, we're getting there. Ah, we have seen this card before. Pisces. Transcendental escapism. Making me talk about escapism. All right. Pisces. You should be walking away from some relationships, but you're not. You're waiting. Okay. You have all these ways that you can do it, and all these places that you could go afterwards, or you know, go to, like, to get other relationships, but you're not doing that either. Now, the thing is you have this community up here. This community is being offered to you, right? First of all, this managed to be glad is telling me to just, you know, have gratitude, be grateful, because I feel like you're trying to manifest people, right? But the problem is that you're kind of standing in your own way, in the way of, well, here, this focus on the positive card. Okay, so a lot of times we could be looking at this like, all right, let's just talk about regular escapism for a second. Let's pretend that you have like, you have this, let's say people being offered to you, okay? Because this card is the good card. This is the good people, okay? These are the good places that you can go with these people, right? And you're pausing a little bit because you're kind of, okay, let's just use this as an example. This could be a few things, but let's just use you're comparing yourself to these people. Okay, so you're comparing yourself to the people that you're with, not the people that you're moving towards, right? And you're saying to yourself, well, you know, I don't want to make new friends because these people are, you know, they're like, I know them. Whoop. See, this is not action, right? You know, it's like, I don't want to make new friends. I don't want to get to know other people. Like people have stuff like that they talk about when they talk about like just letting people into their lives, right? You know, I'm on a spiritual awakening, and a lot of people aren't, or even if they are, like, I don't want to learn, like, whatever it is that it is, right? You're kind of using that to say, I don't want to take this step forward, right? I don't care what doors are there. I'm just going to hang out with what I have, right? But when you are on a spiritual awakening and you kind of like look at other people, let's say some of these people aren't on a spiritual awakening, they could be, and you could be comparing yourself to them, and you can be saying, you know what, that person does this and that person does that. I don't really like that. I don't think that that's very spiritual, or this or that, or whatever it is that you want to say. And you can use that to keep yourself away from these people, right? Let's say that this new group of friends that you're moving towards, let's say that they have like heated conversations about, I was going to use bad examples. I was going to say politics, which everybody does that. And then I was going to say like diet, because a lot of people do in spiritual awakenings. They have these heated arguments about like being a vegan and stuff like that. And it's like, I sort of get it, but I didn't want to use a situation that's like more common like that, because I feel like that's a little bit muddy. That water is a little bit muddy. Diets are muddy. That situation, that conversation, like you're going to argue about it. It's just like politics. You're going to argue about it because it is different for everybody. Nobody's really truly right for anybody else. Everybody has to decide what is right for them. Yes, there are things that everyone can do that would probably help them out, but some people can't do certain things that others. So arguing about it doesn't really help, right? But you could sit there and you could say that the thing that the person is arguing about isn't very spiritual, or you're just more spiritual than that, and you just feel like you don't need to make friends with that. And the thing is you're using your spirituality to escape the fact that A, you need to deal with stuff, either the old friends or the new friends, right? Or you're just not looking at it correctly in general. Because it's kind of one of those things where you're escaping. You're just kind of using your higher power to do it. You're kind of using your, when you're comparing stuff. Like this is a hard subject for people, Pisces, because sometimes people don't see it. They only want to hang out like with people who don't get heated, don't get into heated conversations. They don't believe that if you're spiritual that you should have these types of conversations. And the problem with that is that yes, absolutely you should. The thing is that you should smudge afterwards, right? It's one of those things where yes, if you have emotions, you need to get them out. You don't just like hang out with them and just decide, oh, I'm just going to sit in this and do this. Like that's escapism. It's just sitting. That wasn't even remotely helpful, that shuffle. You're just sitting in your stuff. You know what I mean? You're just sitting there. You'll know too, because it'll be the easy way out. It'll be easy. Well, I'm not gonna engage in that. I keep getting these opportunities, but I'm not gonna go after that because it's not for me. If it's being presented to you, it's for you. Sometimes it's a test, sure, and you can, look at that test. If you're looking at things in a positive way, then you'll see it. If you're escaping, you may not see the test. You may not, because you won't be looking at it very clearly. The Ten of Ariel. There is very much to be grateful for. Financial success and the promise of retirement, a rich and rewarding family life. So it could possibly be in this situation, Pisces, that whatever it is that you're using to escape the new thing that's coming in could be denying you this. I think this is telling you, this family life, rich and rewarding family life. And what did it say? Financial, right? Financial success. Yeah. So if you overcome this could be coming, from that. If you release some of this old stuff, you have to be, again, grateful, glad. If you're trying to manifest abundance, I'm telling you, you need to take inspired action on that every single day and twice on Sunday, and focus on the positive. You start bringing negative into this situation, it's not going to help you out. There's no negative cards on this table right now, Pisces. It's just you hesitating about how you want to go and the mechanism that you're using to put the kibosh on everything. So, pay attention to that, because this is possibility that it could not just be showing up in this stage in your life, like as far as this, like future friends, it could be future anything, could be future job, but it also could show up in other areas of your life. So even though I'm talking about this and you identify with it, like say for your job, you could be doing this in your personal life too, literally just escaping, just using, anything really. I mean, there is a separate escapism card. So it doesn't have to be transcendental escapism. But, you know, you would know. If it's not you, it could be somebody else. You know, especially if you're having a spiritual awakening and they're not, and they might be trying to always challenge, you know, your goodness or something like that. It's a possibility. You could be getting compared. You could be up against that. Either way, I wouldn't play with that. I feel like people need to know sometimes who they're dealing with when they do stuff like that. Oh, you're this way. You're this way. You're like, really? Okay. You don't have to be that way. You definitely don't have to let you bring them into being that way. But watch yourself. The escapism isn't going to help you out. And anything that's supposed to happen, like your abundance or the happy family, you're just going to make it take longer and you keep messing around. All right, now we are on to Scorpio. We are going to pull the King of Keys. Huh. All right. Let's see what's up with that. The King of Keys. What's he doing? He is moving, and he's moving towards the castle. All right. Let's see what we get for the energy cards for Scorpio. What's going on, Scorpio? How are we doing? We're at an hour right now. Not too bad. All right. What do we got for energy for Scorpio? All right. Storm warning and power center. Boom. All right. What do we got going on? Let's just move them. Sorry. That is third chakra Archangel Samuel. So let's pull Alice. Let's see what's going on here. For Scorpio, of course we got a storm. You know, at least we didn't get the hostilities card. We would have been the only sign that got the hostilities card. It would have been lame. Like, why is this guy showing up? Seriously. King of Keys. Belong to your own dream. Create your own life. It sounds like somebody's trying to stand in their own sovereignty, their own, defending themselves. Of course. Why would I think a Scorpio reading would about anything else? Right? The reason why we got a tail. Incidentally, Scorpions don't just sting, they also pinch and bite. So for any of you guys who don't understand why sometimes you come at people three ways, that's why. You know, I feel like they're all defense mechanisms, but whatever. We can. I'm sure Scorpio can use that offensively if they want to. What do we got? Full moon in Virgo. Take inspired action. And first quarter moon in Cancer. Push through any insecurity. Do we have to leave something, Scorpio? Are we walking away from the storm? It's like every reading. Like, all right. Belong to your own dream. What does that say? Create your own life. Okay. Well, might not be actual leaving. He is moving. King of Keys. All right. It's kind of a little bit of a busy sigil there. Let's see what this one's about. Scorpio. What do you got? What's your blind spot? Way past it. All right. Some of these cards, I see them as I'm trying to find the other card, and I'm like, well, I'm glad it's not that. Gaslighting. Okay, Scorpio. Let's read the King of Keys. All right. So keys for us is like values, wealth, success, abundance, career. It could be, you know, let me see if I label that as, yeah, I feel like that's like almost like an equivalent to like Pentacles in the tarot, right? The earth sign. So, of course, maybe like Taurus showing up in Scorpio's reading, right? Who else we got? Virgo and Cancer. Okay. All right. So let's do the King of Keys. So the King of Keys rides a splendid horse towards a great castle in the distance. He is happy and at ease as he travels home. This is an entrepreneurial man with civil or commercial authority. He is confident, astute, and perhaps overly focused on his work or career. Though he can be very thoughtful and helpful to you in business or financial matters, he is often more goal-oriented than people-oriented. Keep this in mind if this man turns out to be a love interest for you or another. Whether the King of Keys represents you or another, be on the lookout for a major promotion, a heightening of income, or a furthering of career achievements. Careers in finance, real estate, and business are typical for the King of Keys, but management in any industry can be forthcoming. There may also be a good time for self-employment and business expansion for you or a man in your life. Well, this could definitely be work. This could definitely be work, but for some reason, our blind spot flew out of my head. Gaslighting. Oh my God. All right, it could be work. I mean, I don't see a lot of love here on the table. It could be love. I feel like, I mean, people can be insecure at work if somebody is gaslighting. I'm going to read this as it's not you, Scorpio, just because you're the one that, well, you're being warned about a storm. So there's that. And then on top of that, you're supposed to take some kind of action. And then you're the one that's supposed to like create your, again, when people are gaslighting, a lot of times they're trying to like sell you like an idea in Wonderland. I'm sorry, but you know, it's like, I'll be honest with you. A lot of times I feel like when people are doing that, I mean, gaslighting, the word gaslighting denotes that they're kind of doing it on purpose. It's not like I believe something that's, you know, not true and I'm trying to convince you of it. Usually it's, I know exactly what's going on and I'm trying to convince you that it's something else. A really good example like that is there's an old movie, I think it's called Gaslighting, something like that, where the guy, like, basically what he does is he keeps turning the lights down in his house, like his wife, he keeps turning the lights down, so the point when she comes in, she keeps thinking it's darker and darker. It's darker. Does it seem darker in here? He's like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. He keeps doing that until the woman feels like she's actually crazy. A lot of times with gaslighting, people like take all these general terms and they kind of throw it in there and it's like, oh, they're gaslighting. Gaslighting also includes trying to make you feel crazy. Gaslighting, people talk about it a lot. I feel like I'm using the word a lot, but it's your blind spot, so I can't help myself. But I feel like people talk about it a lot, but I feel like to a certain extent, like as far as like calling it out, it's underrated. You know, a lot of things fall into that category that might be severe, might not be severe, and so people don't want to necessarily call it gaslighting. But I'm going to tell you right now that gaslighting is malicious. You're doing it on purpose. You're trying to make me feel crazy. You're trying to make me feel like I don't know what's going on, and I don't even need to really even deal with that at all. At all. This guy right here, he's always like, I was going to say self-sufficient, but he's also like no bullshit. Like if he came into your situation, if this was a relationship, he would tell it to you like it is. This man would come correct, right? So if you have someone in your situation, anybody, I don't care if it's at work or home, and especially like if they're using aggression or anger to gaslight you, I would say that there may be something else that you might want to do in this situation besides deal with them. First of all, they're playing a game. If it would be like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, but I always end up getting you into this situation by accident. I love that when you're constantly in a situation, and especially when it's the same situation, but the other person always manages to come out on top. Is that an accident, dude? Really? How come you never totally screw yourself? How come it's always me? That's also when you know you're gaslighting. Well, I didn't mean to. Well, but miraculously you didn't lose anything again. How does that work, right? You don't necessarily need to know when you're being gaslighted. You just need to know when someone's full of crap. End of story. Yeah, it's making you sad. These cards are already telling you to take inspired action and to get away with it. First of all, nobody likes storm. I mean, some people are tornado chasers or whatever, but you see them running away too. Oh shit, it turned, it's coming out. We gotta run. Yeah. Yeah. You don't have to stay in anything you don't want to. I don't care if it's a job. I mean, I get needing to like cover your stuff before you actually leave. I get all that. Definitely. Definitely, Scorpio. But what I would tell you is whatever feelings come up with that, just handle them and move on. Take inspired action. It's not going to help your self-esteem or you out to be in a situation like that where somebody is always messing with you. And even if they're not gaslighting, they're messing with your power center. They're messing with you anyway. And you don't even need that because you stand on your own without that crap. Most of the time people like come at other people like that because they see how secure they are. They do it on purpose. Don't take that. You don't have to take that. You can write however it is that you think it needs to be, and then you can move in that direction, especially now. You don't have to keep a bad job, bad relationship, bad family, or bad friends. None of it. You don't even really need to keep a bad neighbor. You could just leave. So I have had enough of this person blaring their music at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm out. Let them piss off the next person. And even though it's uncomfortable, you just get through it. You just get through it. All right. So we're going to move on from Scorpio. We are now going to move to Gemini. Gemini, it is your turn. Let's see what's going on for you and the Akashic side. Scorpio, I already know you can get through that. I already know you're like probably a pro or close to it. But just remember when you're being gaslit, especially if you also think that that term is overused, know when it's happening to you. Don't blow it off or write it off or act like it's not happening just because you feel like it's happening a lot. You're a Scorpio. It could be. Sorry, I hate to say it that way, but no. You always get these weird confrontational relationships. Right? I mean, there's always a passion involved and things like that. I get it. Some people just, you know, they have that passion they can't control. You see the good stuff first, but then later on you realize they can't control their, you know, temper or whatever's going on. Or maybe they just really care about you, and all of a sudden now you realize that they can't control their temper with you. It's because we're passionate. Tend to stir people up sometimes. What do we got, Gemini? Wishes fulfilled, 5 of Keys. That's a beautiful card to start with. I don't see any people in it, but I see a lot of stuff. Like it's just like almost like you left in the middle of like a bakery. I don't think it's actual food. Oh no, it is. It's like walking out of the bakery and just, you know, coming back when you're done doing whatever it was that you were doing. We'll read that and figure out what that's about. But I mean, I don't think anybody needs a decoder map to figure out what wishes fulfilled means, right? All right, what do we got, Gemini? You know what? Let's move them a couple more times. See what's coming out for Gemini. We are making good time on this video, I do say. Like I said, again, you guys, if you're just joining us or you've joined us recently, let me know in the comments if you like these kinds of readings. We'll try to do more of them. So you got rest and rejuvenation, and you also got the Goddess of the Moon. So we'll see what that's about. We got wishes fulfilled and Goddess of the Moon. Goddess of the Moon could be someone coming into your life, bringing something cool, or just, you know, allowing you to like take a break from the BS. This person looks like they're manifesting though. Yeah, we'll find out. Wishes fulfilled. Oh. Let's see what Alice has to say. Yeah, it looks like manifestation. Wishes fulfilled. So successful manifestation. Doesn't even matter. I can see all that energy swirling around you anyway. And then you have the Goddess of the Moon, which actually might have energy swirling around her. Well, she's got smoke. I would call it the same thing, but also I feel like that's like something you can't see. So you might be calling something in like for relationships or something like that, but you can't see what's coming. I can relate, Gemini. What is this? It's always tea time. Ooh. Eternity, endless moments, repetition. Yeah. I've told the story before. Can't remember whose reading it was. But in Alice in Wonderland, when she's eating with, or she's drinking tea with the Mad Hatter and that other little character at the table, he's not there. But while she's talking and trying to tell them what's going on with her situation, with her story, they keep, you know, shouting and having her move to the next seat. And she keeps saying, you know, they say, do you want some more tea? Every time they move her to the next seat, they try to pour her some more tea. Do you want some more tea? She hasn't been able to drink the tea that she has. So she keeps saying, I haven't had any tea. And then she starts trying to tell her story again. And then they scream, I can't remember. I should watch it again to figure out whatever it is that they scream. Next chair, something. And then they move to the next chair and then it's, do you want some more tea? And it's, I haven't had any tea. Last quarter moon in Scorpio, reveal what needs to be seen. What's this one? Lighten up. Last quarter moon in Leo, lighten up. We might as well pull this blind spot. You know, maybe it's the blind spot. Here, let's find out, Gemini. Lighten up. Lighten up, and it's always tea time. It's just like, I mean, obviously, whatever it is that's trying to be manifested is going to be manifested. I always say that. Sometimes I say, you know, there's no mention of how long it's going to take on the table. You know what I mean? I mean, you know, sometimes we do stuff where we hold ourselves back, or even like I think I mentioned in the other reading, we're not moving forward right now. We're just not going to do that. It's okay too. If you kind of are happy where you are, and you know, want to sit there for a few and either enjoy what you have, or if you don't know what's coming, even if you have a little apprehension, but you're like, you know what, I kind of enjoy what I have, you know, you can hang out a little bit. I mean, I wouldn't keep doing it, but you might be able to for a little bit. Huh. Card number 58. Let's see what that is. It looks like a person. Hold on. Blinding pessimism. Oh, okay. Yeah. So there is a card that's blinding optimism. This is blinding pessimism. So you have these wishes fulfilled, you're hanging out, there's some stuff that you can't see, but there's something that you keep revisiting over and over again. It might be because of the thing that you can't see, but it's not just that, it's you needing to lighten up, right? Gemini. If you don't have a friend that's always telling you, like, don't say that like that, don't do that like that. I have a friend that's a Gemini that I'm always telling her, or she knows now. She knows when she says something a little funky. I call her out on it, or I kind of make fun of it, but in a way that's like, you know, friendly, like to let her know, like, hey, you did it again. You did that thing that you do where you say the thing that doesn't make you feel good. You did that, right? Because she might not be able to see it every single time. Sometimes I'll do something as a play, like I'll do it too, to kind of like remind her that I get where she's coming from, like. but honestly, a lot of times, you know, it is sort of like a negative way of looking at things. It's blinding pessimism. It's like it's gotten to the point where that's law for you, right? This is going to block everything. It's going to block everything. You're the one who's got the cloak up. You're kind of like, she's like staring straight into the sun. She's just like totally blind about what's going on, right? It's interesting. Sorry. Wishes being fulfilled, right? But I don't see anybody in this room. I literally don't see anybody in this room. It's like, okay, this is what I want you to do, Gemini. All right? Listen, if it was just normal pessimism, I'd say, oh, don't be so pessimistic. Take a break from being negative. This is blinding pessimism. Just forget everything you know. Just when you're trying to manifest stuff, just think about the thing that you want, right? And then just let it go. Just let it go. Don't think about it to the point where you kind of go, oh, well, every time I get this, this happens, or whatever it is. You may even think it's unrelated. It's not. Your mindset is getting in the way of what you're trying to do. With everything. This looks like just one situation, but wishes being fulfilled. Ooh. We didn't read it, did we? Let's see this. This is the 5 of Keys. I don't think we did. I'm sort of having a deja vu, probably because I've been going through this too many times. Yeah, I don't think we did. Here we go. Let's see what's up. I'll know right when I read like the first line. Yeah, okay, we did not read this. Let's do it real quick. Wishes fulfilled. This is the 5 of Keys. The scene is a bright and full storeroom, a larder for a sizable and successful estate. Inside are keys and coins, wines and spices. Also within the room are a number of baskets filled with a bounty of fruits, vegetables, breads, flowers, sugars, and grains. Even the many windows look out at the expanse of your world. This card is a sign that the time has come for your wishes to be fulfilled and your dreams to be realized. Difficulties may have challenged you for a time, but even in these, victory is assured. There is an abundance of sweet nourishment and acquired lands coming. The keys to the castle are yours. Celebrate. Okay, so this is another situation where we talk about how stuff's going to happen anyway. And you can, with your blinding pessimism, you can make it take longer. You can go around and around. You can do cycles, not seeing what's coming. You could even be asking, hey, man, show me what's coming. But I'm just keep doing the same thing because I'm not really paying attention to what's going on. And I have this blinding pessimism. Don't do that. Don't do that, Gemini. Something is trying to come at you. Just because you can't see what it is doesn't mean you don't want it. You can stop, meditate about it if you want. Ask. But you're going to have to get yourself out of this cycle or this rut. Or if the blinding pessimism is the cycle or rut, then you need to get yourself out of it. That thing that you're trying to get, especially like abundance, it's not going to come. And sometimes we're talking about like a relationship or something, like we go, well, I don't need stuff, but you know what? It could be something else. It could be something more important. It could be your life purpose. You could be stuttering on what you're trying to do and get and bring others because you're stuck in an idea that doesn't even really serve you anymore. You kind of got used to something. Wow, cards that want to lighten up. Seriously though, Gemini, blinding pessimism, yes, but I would say focus on any negativity. If you see any negativity, especially coming out of your mouth, I get it if you're, ooh, I shook my finger at you. We did it. We did it. So we don't have to do it for anybody else during this video. You know, especially if you're doing, you know, if you're doing it to yourself, you need to, it's one of those things where you're making it worse. You could be doing it everywhere. So every time you say something negative, just when you say it, I know that thinking is just as bad, but right now, trying to control what you're saying is a little bit harder than to try to control what you're thinking. You can always say the thing. Okay, this is kind of like how Abraham Hicks puts it. You can say the thing and then take it back. I think she said you had like 14 seconds to take it back. So even if you say the negative thing, you have like a moment to rethink what you were trying to say. Let's say let's just say it was about your life purpose and you're like, I just have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay, well, that's not necessarily a negative thing, but when we're talking about controlling energy, we don't want to keep introducing that into the situation. I'm saying something negative. I'm saying something negative. I'm saying something negative, right? So when I say something negative, I can go back and I can say, okay, I have no idea what my life purpose is, right? And then I can go, whoops, I don't want to introduce that energy into the situation that I'm trying to create because I want to fulfill my wishes. And every time I do that, I bring something I don't want. So let me go back and say the thing that I want to say, which is, I am going to discover my life purpose. You don't even really need a whole lot of strength or power behind that statement, you don't even know how you're going to, you don't even need to know how you're going to discover your life purpose. You could just declare that you're going to discover your life purpose. And then a lot of times, even though you have that blinding pessimism, it can be brought to you. Now, again, you could be getting in your own way and doing all kinds of stuff to make it take longer. And I can't tell you how much time that's going to take if you do that. But if you every time say something negative and then you turn it around and you say something positive again, you'll help to kind of stop that momentum of things going in the wrong direction so that your wishes can actually be fulfilled. It's kind of like we were talking about earlier in the video about how people are trying to do something, but then they stop right before the breakthrough because they've been waiting so long and they don't realize that they've created so much momentum in the other direction that it's going to take time. It's just going to take time, especially if you have blinding pessimism. Blinding pessimism. Blinding pessimism. Okay, Gemini, we're going to move on. Tame the negative saying, and then later on when you handle that, tame the negative thinking. And then, you know, if you just think something that you don't want to think and you just tell yourself, no, that's not true, or no, that's not what I want to believe, or no. And you can choose another thought with that. You can choose another thought with that until you stop saying things that make you, feel a certain way. It's the pessimistic thing that's not helping you out. It's low vibe, right? If you're trying to manifest, you don't want to be in a low vibrational place. You want to be in a higher vibration because that's always going to make it flow a little bit better. I mean, think about low vibes as like something that's really thick, you know, that just moves slowly, right? I mean, if it's low vibe and it's thick and it's slow moving, it might not even be moving in the direction that you want, Gemini. You know what I mean? So just keep that in mind, especially, like I said, if you're bringing your own pessimism. If somebody else is bringing the pessimism, then you might want to consider also telling that person to calm down. You don't have to fight about it, but I'm just saying, you know, you can, like I say, I have that friend. I tell her, oh, did you just do the thing? She'll go, yeah. We laugh about it. And then we don't go down that road. We don't take that blinding pessimism or whatever it is we're trying to do with us. We acknowledge it and then we kind of move on. You just know, hey man, we brought it up. Can we not do that next time? 7 of Roses. The journey. I keep trying to like not make these facial features with you guys. The journey. The journey, Libra. What do we got? What do you say? 7 of Roses? Yeah. Actually, wow. That is a nice card. It's really small, but on the bottom there's like a harbor with a bunch of ships in it. It almost looks like pirate ships. It's kind of cool looking. We'll figure out what that card's about. Let's see what energy we can introduce into this for Libra. I hope you guys are enjoying the video. I hope it gives you some kind of clarity in your situation. You know, if you're cross-watching for other people, I hope it's uplifting and informative for you. Just wanted to do something for everybody today. You're welcome. We have Rest and Rejuvenations coming out again. Okay, Libra. Broken Heart. What do we got? The Journey. Oh, crap. I hope this isn't a breakup for you, Libra. Let's just see what's going on. Changed in the night. Yes. Usually we get changed in the night when something that we went through made us change to the point where we change so much that sometimes it can appear to others from the outside that we changed overnight. Usually the situation is so extreme or severe, or we get to the point where we don't want to deal with it anymore, where we just say no more. And then the person's like, what do you mean? And we're like, what do you mean? What do I mean? It's over. You can keep doing that if you want. Somebody's going to viciously rearrange your environment. You're not going to have the things that you thought you were going to have. Let's see what the moons are doing for Libra here. What do we got? Because usually the journey is about like figuring out what went wrong and then trying to fix it so that you don't have to do it again. That's where we're going with this. I'm just trying to get different cards. I don't know if it's going to happen. Here we go. Oh, push through any insecurity. We're not going in another direction. We're going in this direction. Breathe through the tension. Breathe through the tension, Libra. You're breaking up. Or you're changing, and then you're going to break up. Hopefully that journey is for somewhere moving forward that has nothing to do with a breakup. Because that would be cool. That would be cool for Libra. Right? Well, you probably already have a reading like this. I mean, I don't have everybody's readings memorized, but I've seen all these cards. Well, except for the Akashic card. All right. Sorry. Card number 35. Looks like you're in a cage. I'm going to get down to this. Let's figure out what's going on here. What is going on with Libra? And card number 35. Desperation. 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 Okay, let's the journey. Let's see what's going on with the journey with Libra. All right. So we got our roses. 7 of them. This is emotions, family, relationships. I mean, obviously. Oh, we skipped all the way to the back. Okay, here we go. The 7 of Roses, which is the card after the War of the Roses, which is interesting because I feel like that is this and this is after. But let's see. The journey says, a seaport teems with activity as cargo is loaded off and onto many different ships. 2 women on a small tender boat are on their way to the great ship that will take them on their journey. 2 men with their trunks and cases wait to follow. This card shows a time for a journey, a move, or a relocation. You may be taking your work or creative endeavors in a whole new direction, whether figuratively to a new industry or literally to a new city. However this journey occurs, it is sure to take you to new places and greater opportunities. Although it may require leaving something safe behind, this is not the time for staying safe in the harbor. It's a time for finding and exploring new worlds, so get packed. Never actually told somebody to pack their bags, Libra. Not in a reading. So the journey could be like, you know, like it said, after it's done, there's no reason to kind of hang on to this, even if it is safe, that, yeah, you have to breathe through the tension because it is there. But even if you weren't going to go anywhere, you would still change and you wouldn't want to be there in the first place. And then eventually you would become so uncomfortable that you would end up leaving anyway. I've already forgotten this blind spot. I love how these blind spots are so elusive that they literally just fly out of my head. I have to write it down. Desperation. That's right. Desperate to get out of the situation. Forgot about that part. Okay. Well, I do know what that's like. I do know what it's like to be in a situation that's so bad that you're not even sure if you're safe. And it just goes on and on and on and on for many months. Yeah, I'm getting serious on you. You guys can skip through this if you want. I'm going to try to do timestamps. I already said all that stuff about changing in the night and all that stuff. It's true. Sometimes it can make it seem like it's taking forever, and it might be. It could be. It could be you having split energy. I'm just going to tell you this now because this whole table is full of get out. If you have split energy, I want to leave, but I don't want to leave this person. I want to leave this situation, but I don't want to leave this person. I want to leave this person, but I don't want to leave this situation. I'm safe here. I have a place to live. Again, like I said, you're going to wake up one day and it's going to be to the point where you don't even care. You'd rather sleep in your car than deal with this stuff. And it'll be long after you said you'd rather sleep in your car than deal with that. To the point where other people won't even understand. Even if it's terrible, the situation's terrible, from the outside looking in, they're not going to be able to see it. Even when you leave, that person can make stuff up about why you left, and you could look a certain way. I wouldn't even care about it. It's part of the game. Because you're looking for this. You're looking for love. You're not looking for the bullshit that comes with these types of situations and people that try to keep you snowed. I'm going to pull an extra card for you guys, because I feel like this is a little unfair. Best thing I can say for you is to not have split energy. Sometimes you're waiting for divine timing, and that can be rough. If that's the case in this situation, then push through. Just breathe through the tension. Just wait until the thing that's supposed to be coming is coming. It's coming. It's coming. You just have to be your best and do your best, even if you're already changing or changed. You just have to keep going with what you're trying to do. You have to just be patient. You have to keep your heart in check. You need to understand that this is not the be-all, end-all of your situation, and you will get out of it. And you just have to breathe through the tension and give yourself love. Don't be desperate trying to get out of the situation, because you're going to drag that desperation into your new situation. This is good advice for anybody who's listening who's not a Libra. Do not be desperate when you're getting out of your situation. I don't care if it's job, because what's going to happen is if you run into that job being desperate, you're going to run out of that job being desperate. The reason why you're desperate is because you still haven't figured out how to deal with that situation to the point where it won't happen again. You need to do that. Once you leave, once you figure it out and you leave, it'll take a while to heal from it. You have to experience a little bit of this, and you got to quit getting the crap, so that you can look at it and say, okay, this is how I'm going to deal with this next time. I'm not going to have these relationships that look like this. I don't care who it's with. I don't care if it's my boss or my mom. Ten of Raphael, love and blessings fill your life. Harmonious relationships with family members happily ever after. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. This is what's inside of you. This other stuff that other people are bringing, this is not part of you. You do not need to deal with this at all. There's love all over the table. I mean, you know, this kind of sucks, but you know, this has promise for new, right? And this has, well, I'm not the same anyway, so I need new, right? Don't worry about too much about this, Libra. It looks like this one's going to end on its own as well. But what I would say to you is in certain situations, depending on how bad they are, I would not wait for them to end on their own. I don't actually see endings on the table. I see journey, meaning that, yeah, you're going to go somewhere, and it might even be like, I was going to say not under your control, but like when the journey starts might not necessarily be under your control kind of thing, or even possibly where you're going. Is like sometimes when we're on a spiritual awakening, we don't realize where we're going. The thing that we're thinking of is like really small, and we don't realize when we start that journey. It's kind of like Alice in Wonderland, when we start that journey, where we're actually going to end up, you know. So anyway. Good luck, Libra. I know. If you have people you can talk to, do that. Confide in yourself. If you have to, meditate. If you need to, breathe. Just breathe. You can always ask your angels, God, universe, your ancestors for guidance with what's next. Why is it taking so long? Any of that. It sounds like you're a little bit on divine timing, and you're just going to have to learn from the situation even after you change. Sorry. It's going to open up something new, and it's going to open up something better. Those people are excited for the journey that they're going on. They're not dreading it. They're not hauling their bags they're not pissed that they're going on vacation. It's an inside joke. Aquarius, what's up? All right, we saw this before we started shuffling, before we did all these readings. This is the Six of Forces, the waterfall. This is movement, typically. And I want to say forces is like air, like a air. Was it air? Oh no, it's fire. I perceived it as fire, but now of course we have water on the table as well. So it's actually a pretty card. Maybe show it to you guys one more time. Aquarius. Look at that. You know, in the camera, it actually looks like a water mushroom cloud. So I don't know what that's about, but we're going to keep going and see what's up. See what's up. I mean, you are an air sign. You might have your wagon hitched to the other two air signs, but we're going to figure it out right now. Let's see what's going on. Oh, the world. Look who's on a journey and a whole different card. Okay. All right. I hope this is different than Libra, Aquarius. I'm just saying. So let's find out. Let's see what's going on, right? What are we doing here? Belong to your own dream. What was it like? Writing, you're creating your own, yeah. Why is journey upside down? What is okay. All right, you know, don't resist the journey, Aquarius. A lot of times it's just, you know, it needs to happen. I mean, how fun would it be to just be in the same spot your entire life? The chances are you chose this for yourself, right? So it looks like you have to decide. On the bottom, what do we got? For Aquarius, we have first quarter moon in Virgo. Assess the situation. New moon in Virgo. Trust all will be well. Yeah, so a little bit of wanting something more. We've got forces here on the table, which tells me that it's either like a movement of like the hands of time, like the ticking clock of what you're supposed to be doing next, or like a powerful force of things moving forward. Yeah, you're trusting all will be well. You're aiming towards the world, but you have to belong to your own dream to do it. So let's see what your blind spot is. Number 65 actually looks like a machine at work. What is that? Enabling. Who is enabling who? We're going to find out what this waterfall is about. This was the Six of Forces. Let me see. Oh, that's right. It's over here. All right. The waterfall. Yeah. A towering waterfall roars down into a beautiful body of water. In the upright position, this card reminds you of your incredible personal power and supports you in opening up to the force within. Know that you are a dynamo in the universe. You have the ability to shape any situation in a way that honors you and moves your life forward. The element of water is fluid, like the waterfall. Your personal energy never stops. Your life force is never ending. It springs from the eternal past and roars into your limitless future, extending into the furthest reaches of the universe. It is a time for deep thought and even deeper emotions, as well as an expansion of psychic energy. Use this time to act on these and tap your power that is ever flowing. All right, well, it doesn't look too terrible. I have a feeling that it's a possibility that, because you have this, okay, so you have this, it's like this go energy kind of thing, and then you have this journey, and it looks like you're trying to go towards the world. You have this assess the situation, which kind of tells me that you're in something that's not necessarily ideal. Belonging to your own dream is kind of like, you know, you have to like rewrite that where you're going. Like you have to kind of, it's almost like the where you're going is either not fulfilling, or you've noticed that there's something about it, like it's not moving kind of thing, like it's not flowing like this water, right? And you're kind of like, well, I can't just sit here with my eyes closed kind of a thing, right? But also on top of that, you can't just sit there and talk about sitting there with your eyes closed. You have to come up with something for the way to move forward, right? And you still have to trust that all will be well to make all this happen. Like, you have to assess the situation, and then when you're going forward, you have to tell yourself it's going to be fine, right? With this new idea that you have. But you might have somebody in your life who's kind of helping the non-movement along. Like, maybe if you were like, let's just use the example of like moving out of your parents' house. Like, maybe they're able-bodied, you're able-bodied, you're about that age, you're ready to go, but somebody wants to keep you at home. So they start offering you incentives. Okay, well, if you go to college, I'll pay for this, or whatever it is that's going on, right? To the point where it makes it harder for you to figure out if it's really a good idea to go, right? Because I kind of don't see anything else on the table that would be allowing, like, you would be doing the enabling, unless you're allowing someone else to like keep you stuck. Let's pull one of these again. It's like enabling somebody to not to be lazy about moving forward. It doesn't even look scary. It just looks okay, unknown. It just looks unknown, you know. It just looks like, I don't know what's going to happen. And this is saying you don't really need to know what's going to happen, right, to move forward, right? Yeah, I saw this come out. Victim consciousness. Okay, so you could even be telling yourself stuff that's not true or that is defeating to try to get that, you know, to basically so that you don't have to move. I feel like this is similar to another reading earlier. Yeah, you could be enabling yourself, or someone could be enabling you to believe in ideas that will keep you from feeling protected or feeling like you can move forward in a situation, and it doesn't matter what that situation is, right? Aquarius, you're supposed to write that story yourself. You're supposed to acknowledge the fact that what you're going towards is for you and not necessarily for anyone else. And let's say you got there on your own. Guess what? You would meet somebody who also wanted this for themselves, right? Look at it a different way than how you've been looking at it. I know you're not afraid to move. I don't think that's the problem. I think it's just the fact that, you know, there's other things that are kind of putting doubt in your mind. And doubt isn't even really here. It's just kind of like hesitation. It's like, I don't know if I'm going to be okay. Somebody's telling me I'm not going to be okay. Or in the past, I haven't been okay. You need to let this go. You need to understand that you can write your own stuff. What does this say? Create your own life. Do that. With this power. With that in your future. With this in your belt. Knowing that this is a strength. This journey is a strength for you. The enabling isn't going to help you out. It doesn't even matter what the situation is. The enabling would never help you out. Some words have, they're balanced. Words are balanced. So in other words, there's no bad words and no good words. I mean, I'm sure that we have words that are, you know, mean bad things, and when you use them in a different way, they never mean good things. But, you know, we're the ones that put that negative connotation on that word. That's not necessary. It was never meant to be that way. That word was meant to be neutral. So a lot of times we can say, like, it's a bad journey, it's a terrible journey, you know, or it's a bad relationship, it's a bad word, it's a bad this. It's what we want to put into it. It's the meaning that we want to give it. We can use these things that are holding us back and we can be empowered by them, or we can use these things that are holding us back and we can be disempowered by them, right? So the enabling, you know, you can enable somebody to do something good, and it would be enabling them. But overall, enabling has a negative connotation, meaning usually when enabling comes up, it means that somebody is allowing somebody to do something that they shouldn't be doing anymore or shouldn't be doing at all, simply because usually the enabler has something that they're gaining out of it. That's like more time than we have for that. So let's see. Yeah, we're going into Aries. You have another major arcana. You're the Akashic library. That's interesting. So we brought the Akashic cards out, but we didn't really talk about like what the Akashic is. The word Akasha is kind of like I'm getting myself in a rabbit hole. It's almost like all that is. Like the Akashic record is like every single record. Like if you believe in reincarnation, the Akashic library would hold every single life you ever had, every single life everybody else had, and everything else in between. The Akashic library, a lot of people use it in spiritual awakenings. They tap into it for healing. They tap into it to get their questions answered, or just, you know, knowledge in general that they feel needs to get out, kind of thing. The Akashic library, I've used it. I've gotten into it. There's different ways to get into it. People can help you with that. This deck of cards that I have, this Akashic Tarot, has a way to get into it as well. I would say if you're really interested in the Akashic records, that I would research multiple ways to get into them so that you can use which way is best for you. It will be explained to you how the entrance is being used, or what you're gaining, or what part of the records that you're getting in, and you can decide if that resonates with you. Door to Spirit. And then we have community. So I'm bringing that up for you because you got the Akashic library, which means that it's a possibility, Aries, that you might be someone who's going to be working in the Akashic records. If you don't know what that is, this is your opportunity to be introduced to it. You have friends coming. You have people coming who are going to help you out. They're either going to help you further your spiritual awakening, or they're just going to be better friends than what you have. Wow, belong to your own dream. Part of me wants to just shovel these again and pull another card, but we're not going to do it. What the hell? Yeah. You have a total control right now from what I can see going on before we pull any kind of blind spot. No real issues here. Good friends. You can write yourself in, you know, write your own story. Door to Spirit's open for you. It's beautiful, by the way. All that little sparkly stuff swirling around. I think I even see angel wings. Yeah. Guidance. We've got new moon in Leo shine. Leo might be involved with Aries. Last quarter moon in Sagittarius. Practice gratitude. Just general stuff for somebody that wants to be high vibe, that wants to be uplifting. What's in our way? What's in Aries' way? Okay, let's find out. And then we'll read that Akashic library, see what's up. This really just looks like all like encouragement. Like, even though belong to your own dream a lot of times tells me like, okay, you went through something rough and now you have to choose, but I don't see anything rough. We've gotten this card before. Card number 3. Their motives. I want to say it was like Gemini or Libra that got that card. Yeah, so interesting, these storylines that play out. Okay, so that's your blind spot, is their motives. You have all this stuff. Okay, you have good people coming, but you have some people around you that are not that hot. That's the thing that you have to get over when you're trying to rewrite your own stuff, because you came from somewhere that you didn't like. You're always supposed to practice gratitude. If you want to bring these people in, or the cool thing in, the cool thing in, or the cool thing in, you want to practice gratitude. If you hang on to this crap that you're trying to get away from, you're not going to be able to move to that good stuff, right? Their motives, they're not going to help you out either. If you got people around you that aren't like helping you move forward into any direction, or helping you move backwards because of their motives, you're going to have to stop paying attention to them. You're going to have to listen to yourself. You're going to have to find the good people in your life, but you are going to have to get rid of those people. You're going to have to be grateful for what you do have that's worth something. And then when you do walk away, you will need to shine. Let's go with the Akashic Library. Let's see what that is for Aries. So that's card number 2. Okay, so the Akashic Library says, inside a great library, candles cast a glow upon the books in the tall shelves. A sage sits thoughtfully with an open book on his table and quill pen in hand. Sometimes this card can indicate writing or publishing a book for you, but this card also symbolizes a new initiation. an ability to manifest a new life in every single way. Belong to your own dream. You have moved deeper into the Akashic records and to a higher self-awareness door to spirit, and further investigation may be required. But now you have a better understanding of your old motives and new purposes. Yeah. It is also a time for heightened intuition as well as greater self-creation. Again, belonging to your own dream and writing that into existence. During this phase, all you have to do is add a little conscious effort to write your new records in the Akasha. Writing your new records in the Akasha. Cannot make this stuff up. To get started today, write one simple declaration about the future you wish to create and repeat it to yourself often. Then decide one thing you can do to make it happen and do it. Anything can happen now. The breadth of landscape before you rests solely on the scope of your imagination and your will to own it. So this is kind of telling me that you're like, kind of like, I mean, not necessarily to the Akashic record specifically, but that you're already like connected, right? You have this door to spirit here. Like, you don't need to like do all this monkey work to like manifest the stuff that you want to do, right? You're like literally this guy in the library, like with the pen, right? It is asking you to write it, to write what you want. I know you want friends. I know you want good friends. You write it down. Write what you want them to be like. If you want more with your spiritual awakening, write it down. If there's stuff that's bringing you down, get it out, process it. Do shadow work if you need to. Be yourself, your true self while you're shining, right? You need to shine with this. This is like the fun stuff. I mean, you do, like I said, you have their motives. But again, when you're in a different vibration than the people with their nasty motives, they can't even really touch you. They think they can, but what ends up happening is stuff bounces back to them, and because they look at everything so negatively, they don't even see when it's hitting them and it's not hitting you. I don't even want to explain that. But it is. It's one of those things where you don't even know what's going on. You're fine. You're happy. You're moving along. You're probably even making new friends, and they're at home like wishing hate, getting it bounced back, having more hate, bringing it on, going, what the heck? You know, and you don't even, you're just sitting in there. You're just reading a book, man. Sadness card again. You know what I'm going to do? Sometimes I fight with the decks. I'm going to put this one back in. I'm going to shuffle it. I'm going to shuffle it. Alice gets to stay, but I want another card than sadness for Aries. All right? Jeez. Sometimes the same card comes out, but we'll see. Okay. I'll take it. Have faith. You can do this. You can do this. You have all the backing that you need. You have friends that are on their way. If there's bad friends you got to get rid of them. Just write them out. Write them out. Write in what you want. Move towards that. Always remember to practice gratitude. It's not just about having faith. Yes, you do need to do both. You can't like practice gratitude and then go, well, it's never going to work. And you can't say, please, please, please bring it to me, but then not appreciate the things that you have. You have to do both. And that's part of shining. And just don't even, don't pay any attention to them Aries. All right, we're going to move on to Leo. Let's get the cards back in the decks and we'll pull the Akashic for Leo. All right, I see another moon card. Here we go. Sadness. That was somebody else's card. I don't know whose card that was. Not Aries. All right, no more sadness. We can choose whether or not we want to be sad. I learned a long time ago, someone said it, it sounded like truth, but it would be like a couple decades later before I would realize like exactly how to handle that information, but that nobody can actually make you sad. Nobody can actually make you feel any way. You have to let them. It's almost more importantly, like more than you have to let them, you almost have to feel it for them. Like, in other words, if somebody was trying to make you embarrassed, but you just weren't the type of person to be embarrassed and you just didn't get embarrassed, you know, that thing that they did that tried to make you embarrassed, it wouldn't work. You go, well, I don't know embarrassment. But then you see something happen to somebody else and you get like embarrassed for them. You know embarrassment. You just don't know embarrassment for yourself. That other person is not going to make that happen for you. It's kind of like that. That's when you get to the point where stuff that people do doesn't touch you. Just bounces back. Archangel Gabriel. Wish we had enough time to go into him. All right. Archangel Gabriel on the table. I mean, we could talk about it, but I'm not sure what that means for Leo. Let's see. What else is coming out? You know what? Let's sit in that energy for a minute. Archangel Gabriel. Yeah. We're going to read it now. Gabriel is the divine messenger. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. The archangel of communication. He comes with his trumpet and scroll, as well as 2 gentle sparrows, signifying powerful yet peaceful expression. On his chest he wears the crest of Mercury, the god of communication. This loving angel carries the sacred words of truth into the world and brings them easily to you. When this card appears upright, it indicates a profound connection to this wonderful presence. Your power of expression is on the rise now. You will have an easier time communicating with others, expressing your feelings, and even working on projects involving communication such as publishing, counseling, teaching, mediumship, journalism, marketing, radio, and television. Now is the time for any of these endeavors, but no matter what you do, remember the power of words. Call on Gabriel to inspire you and let yourself sing out. I love how they like snuck mediumship into there. Most of the time when people hear their mediums, they're not excited about it. Your time for communication is now, medium. Everybody goes, wow, wow. And it sounded exciting, like you were like announcing a horse race or something. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make that correlation. We got attachment. The garden and the gate. Got that garden. The garden's back. Well, we've got communication and attachment, right? With Archangel Gabriel, which is communication. Did I say communication? I meant the garden. I think I said communication and attachment, but I meant the garden and attachment with communication, which kind of tells me that somebody might just be, you know, deciding if they want to speak. This bitch belongs to your own dream. We're going to put her back. We're going to put her back. What? Uninvited. Come on, man. There's 12 signs. You're going to come out 3 times? What the heck? Lead the way. It's the same kind of message. This one says, be a leader. Show others how it's done. You can help others. So instead of writing it into existence, you're just going to lead anyway. All right. Who else is involved here with Leo's stuff? Write your own dreams. I'm sorry. See, now you can see in one video how the same cards keep coming out. Come on, man. It's like they keep pushing your buttons until you go, you know what? You don't get to stay this time. I'm choosing another card. Sometimes the same card comes out, right? So this is first quarter moon in Leo. Leo showing up in Leo's own reading. Be humble. New moon in Pisces, attuned to the divine. So we're looking up, leading the way, but we're looking up. Communication. I feel like this is like a spiritual communication. I don't know what we're attached to. Let's see if we can find out, like from the blind spot, what we're looking at. That's interesting. Communication, decision, attachment while we're not leaving the gate, leading the way, so telling us to go out the gate again. It's always funny how we're like, okay, you're not sure, but you need to keep going, keep going. I mean, you could almost like not even need to be told that anymore. Well, unless you needed to attune to the divine. Let's see. Oh, this kind of looks familiar too, but in a way that's not fun. Let's find out what this is. Card number 77. What's our blind spot for Leo? What's Leo holding on to? What are we doing here? What's creeping? Leo. All right, here we go. At least it's not deflection. Upset. Do not have real clarity about why you are upset. That would be why we don't have real clarity on what's going on with this reading. Are you having trouble communicating? Or you're not sure if you want to communicate because you have this idea that something is not going to be the way it's supposed to be? You are supposed to be the one that's, if you're not the cross watcher on this, Leo, you are supposed to be the one that's supposed to be communicating. I think you're supposed to be nice when you do it. Don't come at somebody, you know, arrogant. It's not going to work out for you. If you need to figure out how to do it, ask. Either, you know, do the meditation thing, ask yourself, or ask your angels, guides, ancestors. You know, you can ask God, ask the universe, like, how do I communicate this? It's not going to be that hard. It's not going to be that big of a deal. You might be making a big deal out of it because you might be attached to some idea that something's not, it's not going to be easy or something's not right or something, but you have stuff on your side. You have this on your side. You could even ask Archangel Gabriel. This is Gabriel, right? Yeah, you can ask Archangel Gabriel. How do I do that? You know, get familiar with a little bit with Mercury. Self-love. I mean, a lot of times I say if you take that break long enough, you can figure it out. You can kind of be like, you know, I care about myself. This is how I'm going to move forward kind of thing. You're going to want to do that here. You can either ask yourself or you can ask, you know, someone higher up. But again, be humble. When you do this, you know, from how you'd want to be handled. Again, like leading the way, like with grace. Dignity, however, whatever word fits that you'd want to look up to when you're dealing with a situation, when you're looking at it from the outside. Like, how would you want somebody else to treat someone else? Or how would you want to be treated? You know, make sure that if you don't know, to ask the question. It's a possibility that it might take you a little bit to figure it out. She's not blindfolded, but she's distracted. It might take you a little while to figure it out. You may be thinking about it and you may not even really be open to like what's coming. And you might not be open to like leading the way either. Again, just ask for guidance on this. This is a communication, but it could be, sometimes there's other things that are like, you know, like a message that needs to be done. It's the same thing. I mean, if it falls into some other lines for, you know, this for you, then of course it would apply. But for the most part, you know, I am seeing like communication specifically, and I'm not seeing that it's a big deal either. And I'm seeing that you're getting that green light to move forward. Just do it. It might even be something that if you do it, you might even be like nervous about it. But when you do it, this might be something that works more towards your greater good. And that's why this is here, because you could be guided to move forward in a way that you could be guided if you wanted to do that kind of thing. Yeah, you can always ask for guidance from Archangel Gabriel. All right, Sagittarius, you are up. Sorry to put you last. You guys are kind of always last, huh? You know, I thought about going into the new year, like rearranging the order in these readings, but, you know, I just want to make sure that if I do that, like a certain sign doesn't have to wait 6 weeks to get, you know, their next reading kind of thing, and I'd like to keep it more on the same time. All the readers that I watch that do kind of like what I'm doing, where they put out a video every couple days or whatever, it's, you know, waiting 3 weeks, a month for my reading sometimes is agony when I love that reader. Sometimes I'll even just watch other signs or watch my other signs just because I want, you know, well, it resonates or it looks like it resonates, but also because I want to watch that person work. So I get it. I don't want to give somebody a reading after a week and give somebody else a reading after 6 weeks. So if I do move it around, it might be either in stages or we'll figure it out. Right now, I like doing earth, air, fire, water, or However, I think I'm doing like water, earth, air, and fire. Because I do like it when the signs are closer together as far as like the meanings that are similar to each other. They kind of stand more out when I do the readings next to each other. That's the only really reason why I like to do it. But, you know, like I said, it could change. What do we got for Sagittarius for the Akashic? The Two of Forces, the Willow. This is actually one of my favorite trees. It's so pretty. Figure out what that means. Kind of want to sit in that energy too. Should we just look it up? Let's look it up. Let's look it up. What do we got? Two of Forces. I know you're back here. Okay, you're maybe not that far back. All right, getting closer. Ah. All right, Two of Forces, the Willow. A big, beautiful willow tree stands in the summer sun. The stately tree is strong and flexible, and this card upright is telling you that you are too. This willow spreads its roots deep and wide, creating a strong foundation that is capable of standing up to anything. Now is the time for you to stand tall and feel the support of the earth beneath your feet. This card indicates a time of calm, so enjoy the peaceful energy now. It also signifies a time of power, perfect for reinforcing your foundation in your work, in your family, in your spirit, and in the depth of your belief in yourself. Just like the willow, you have a peaceful strength drawn from the waters of your soul and extending through all eternity. Stand confidently in your truth. Take the actions that support the growth of all things wonderful in your life, and know that you are powerful. Huh. Oh, that's a pretty uplifting message. The willow. All right. Let's see what else is going on for Sagittarius. We got Sagittarius. Let's just... Okay. Magician in the Mirror. Usually that's the empath card, but it's much more hostilities. We did not get away from this card. It is here for Sagittarius. This man. I mean, the more we see him, the more ridiculous he looks. He like literally needs his own cartoon, right? Up here next to this badass. What is he doing there? Let's find out. Let's see what Alice has to say about this. What is going on? Foundation and hostilities. What the heck? The heck? Sagittarius. Scorpio pass off their hostilities to Sagittarius. Is that the Sagittarius' new card? I don't even want to say I hope so. Let's see what happens with Alice. Alice, what's going on? Oh, law is not justice. Rules that are not fair. Not sure what it's about yet. Let's find out. That card, boy. I'll be honest with you. When I learned that justice was not law, or law was not justice, I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, I could see how that would upset a lot of people. I learned it a long time ago, way before my spiritual awakening. Way before my spiritual awakening. It's one of the reasons, well, never mind, I'm not going to spread my personal views about court here. But I will say that law is not justice. When I figured that out, I was kind of relieved. Because honestly, it was one of those things that just didn't make any sense to me. Until I realized I had to like literally tell myself, hey man, I don't care what they say. This isn't right. Last quarter moon in Aries, work through your feelings. All I could hear in my head when I pulled this card up was me saying, this isn't right. And this is new moon in Gemini. Think it through. You have foundation here. You have like skill, and you have like natural skill and cultivated skill here on the table. And then you have hostilities. You have laws, not justice, which means that a lot of times the things that are happening are not right. They're not right. You're supposed to work through your feelings and think it through. Are you supposed to be learning the lesson here? I mean, it's telling you, it's sort of telling you that God doesn't give you anything you can't handle. Haven't heard that one in a while. God doesn't give you anything you can't handle. And what's your blind spot? All right, let's go. We're open to what the blind spot is. Oh, we just saw this. I want to say it's their motives. We've gotten this card a few times. Shh, I don't even need to look. I don't even need to look it up. I already know. No, I'm just kidding. All right, Sagittarius, you're a solid person. When people come at you and do stuff to you, I know it's not right. It's not right. Even though it doesn't feel right, it's not. It's more than that. It's that it absolutely is not right. You just have to kind of process that as best you can, knowing full well that it's happening and it's not right. You do need to think about it a little bit. Don't overthink it. But a lot of times especially if you have somebody to work it out with, like you kind of say, to somebody, well, it sounds kind of like they don't care about this. A lot of times that's the truth. The thing that came out of your mouth when you said that the circumstances that are surrounding the situation, especially when you've got some kind of decent foundation, you can figure stuff out, been dealing with this for a while, and you kind of go, you know what, it seems like this person doesn't care. It probably is. When it's the only thing that makes sense, and you actually get peace from it, from learning that, you go, oh, that makes sense. That's why it looks like this, because that person can't care to be able to do this. Just ancient Chinese secrets and the Scooby-Doo mysteries go away. You're like, oh, that's why this is happening, right? And then you can move forward, you can function again. When you learn that law is not justice. And when people come at you a lot of times, it's not because they see something in you. I mean, it could be. You could be the magician in the mirror. You could be being a certain way that's the opposite of the other person, and so it pisses them off, and I get that. And that could be why they're coming at you. But a lot of times it's not. It's just their own stuff. They got their own, honestly, they need to work through their own feelings before they bring that to you. Some of them need to think it through, right? You want stuff to start bouncing off of you. You go, you know what? I'm not going to take your stupid crap. I have enough power of my own to bounce that right back on you. Their motives. You don't even have to have motives for them to get hurt by themselves for stuff like this. Don't worry about their hostilities. Just protect yourself and stand in your own foundation. Self-love. You know you have to give yourself this in order to be this anyway. Sagittarius, we've already talked about this in your last reading. Well, you haven't seen it yet. It's coming out on the 31st. It's this kind of stuff. It's you being solid in what you are. It's being a powerful person. It's being a powerful person. And even this wasn't in it, but when this comes at you, you know how to deal with it because you already understand that a lot of times the way things turn out, it's not right. And you kind of have to reconcile that. But if you can control your energy enough especially if that person's wobbly, that's going to bounce right back on them. Their motives, they won't even know. You won't even know what hit them. I almost kind of want to pull one or two more cards for everybody. Let's pull a dragon card for everybody. Let's pull one card for the collective, or the connective as I like to call you. So for all signs, we have the deep blue dragon. Keeps you safe by clearing your pathway. Trust that you are protected. Walk on a path of light. Well, if I had an intention for all of you, that would be it. At least one of them, right? Path of light. Again, some of you guys could be light workers. And we'll draw one angel, because I know there's always enough empaths in the house and light workers. I see the light worker cards coming out. It's a possibility that all you guys could be light workers. Since I'm talking to every person here, I might as well tell you that there is a good possibility that when I made this channel, like I said in the beginning, I made this channel as like a place that people could go to, like, you know, support each other, like in the knowledge that they find, you know, in their spiritual awakening. If you haven't been through something, but you've been through something else, like a lot of times you can help someone and stuff like that as they're going through it, kind of thing. Or at least if people were going through it like together, they could be there for each other, kind of thing. You know, just compare notes. Hey, this thing happened to me. Oh, I tried this. This helped me. You know, okay, let me try that, kind of thing. You know, like I said, I don't have all the answers, but I will tell you that in the very beginning, when I started like forming in my head the opinion of even starting a channel, it was brought to my attention that you would be a channel full of light workers. So if you, people who evolve and change, light workers who evolve and change and do the work. So if you identify with this channel and you've heard me say that you're an empath, or you already know you're an empath, but you don't know what a light worker is, or you don't identify as a light worker, you might want to look that up and check into it. Because I want to say that overall the energy, all the energy talk that we do, it really is like, would be more conducive to like what a light worker would want to know to, like, you know, make their job a little easier or whatever's going on. But on top of that, like I said, you know, I think just by design that you guys are light workers, every single one of you. We're supposed to be a channel of light workers. I'll leave it like that. So let's pull one angel. Light workers, angels are always around light workers. That's why I went into that whole spiel, besides the fact that I just like wanted you guys to know that there is an identification like with this channel. Like, it's already been established. If you're here, you might be part of that. This is the 5 of Ariel. You needn't go through your current challenges alone. Help is nearby. Negative thoughts create self-fulfilling prophecies. Okay, so it's kind of like what we've been talking about with everybody about, you know, not looking at the negative side of things, to always focus on the positive, even when things are kind of crappy. This is part of energy work. You can change the way that things are going just by your attitude. I've said it before too. If the situation is bad enough and you kind of roll around in this despair, your actual experience in that situation and others going forward could be worse than if you just kind of held a light. Like if you just, it's almost like trying to explore a cave. You know, would you rather have a flashlight or would you rather be in the dark? I mean, forget about the fact that it's easier with the flashlight, but on top of that, maybe less scary, right? Maybe a lot less other things too, like less time looking for food. I mean, wouldn't you rather have the flashlight? You know you would, because you're light workers. But on top of that, like I said again, you know, as this is funny because this card was talking about light too, you know, like this is saying, and like I said at the beginning of the video, you know, this channel was designed for people to help each other up. You know, you are not going through this alone. Whatever's going on today or any other day, you are not going through this alone, Connective. I don't care what sign you are. For real. Again, definitely feel free to comment. Feel free to comment to each other. Just, you know, be nice. You want to talk about things more, any readings, anything you're going on in your life, feel free to join that Facebook group. It's in the description. The link's in the description. Come on over. You can talk to me. You can talk to other people who are going through similar things. We can talk about being a light worker. We can talk about anything you want. Anything you want. So, it was fun spending this time with you guys. I hope we could do more of this again. I hope that this video uploads with no issues. I do feel like I just want to pull one more card because I feel like there's 3 of them here besides the blind spot, and I pulled 2. So, you know what? Hopefully we get something that's not lame. What can we get for the whole connective? What could we get? One more card. These are the Heal Yourself reading cards. What do we got? Tell us. That was a little clumsy, but what's on the bottom? Hole in the soul. These skeletons is always behind these people. So this doesn't seem like people in the connective feel this way. I feel like it's a continuation of what I've been saying, and it kind of brought up something a little bit. You know, I was talking, I think it was yesterday, with somebody about how, you know, when I first was in my spiritual awakening and people were like, you know, I was exposed to so many different people who were on a spiritual awakening, you know, people who had true gifts, right? But it would really take me a while before I would realize that some of these people were not pure of heart. And, you know, everybody has different beliefs about whether or not, you know, people who aren't pure of heart, how they use their gifts, or if they use their gifts for bad, and this and that and the other thing. People talk a lot about it, and I get it. In the beginning, I might not have even wanted to believe that there were people like that. It's like, what? Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to take a gift and then use it for bad, right? And I get, you know, like I said, I get people's, you know, intentions, their motives, and, you know, people not wanting to be humble and trying to get ahead, and, you know, whatever it is that people do to sort of, you know, when they get put in a situation, you know, or I was going to say like a place of power, like how they abuse it. And I mean, I get all of that. But realistically, too, I've always been of the belief that people who do that, you will not get to keep your gifts forever. I don't care who you are. Yeah, there are promises that are being made when you get your gifts, but I believe that you're also making promises when you receive them. And if you break those promises or you use your gifts to help others, that's not what, first of all, that's not what is this planet and the state that it's in right now. I get what's happening around the planet, but this planet is evolving. So anybody who doesn't want to evolve with this planet, I can't even tell you what's going to happen to you. But on top of that, like if you are trying to evolve with this planet and you're looking at other people who have gifts who you think might be using them not for good, I really, really don't believe they're going to be able to keep them. And I think they're going to be writing their own story into existence about how bad they want it to be if they do enough stuff. And especially when you attack the wrong person. And I've heard this more than once. You throw shade out to the wrong person, you never know who's protected by God. So if you do have gifts and you are still struggling with being humble, I would recommend to you to pay attention to what I keep saying about do unto others as you would have done unto you. Because you can get really hit with some stuff, and it might not be necessarily exactly what you threw out. It could be a snowball of what you've been throwing out. So you might want to take that into consideration. If you're on the other side, and if you've recently learned that, you know, law is not justice, and somebody has done something to you and they got away with it and it was bad, and you're kind of like, where's the balance? It's coming. You may not see it. You may not, somebody who gets hit hard enough may not tell you, oh yeah, by the way, I got spanked for the way I treated you. No. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe you'll know about it, maybe you won't. I'll tell you something though, even when you know about it, you just get an intuitive hit, you realize somebody's getting their karma. It doesn't always feel like, you don't always feel vindicated, or it doesn't always feel good. Why? Because you didn't wish anything on that person to begin with. That other person was the one that had their hole in their soul, not you, right? So even when their world does explode, it's not fun for you because you're pure of heart. You have light. Light and love, right? You just kind of go, well, that thing happened to that person. That was unfortunate. Sometimes you know what they did to you and you understand. You don't have to go through things alone. You have a whole tribe of people. Just because you don't know the other light workers or don't know the other empaths around you doesn't mean that they're not there. And it doesn't mean that they won't be helpful. And it doesn't mean that you don't deserve them. And it doesn't necessarily mean that this is going on with these people. Sometimes people are healing and stuff like that, and I get that. Sometimes people get in these little scuffles in these like spiritual channels and stuff like that. Like I said, talking about stuff, you know, maybe it's diet, maybe it's something else, but I'm telling you something, and I keep saying it. It's everybody has their own truth, right? We can sit here and talk about how I believe this and somebody else believes something different, and somebody else might believe something different to something that I might have actually experienced, and it still might be true for them, right? I don't believe in that. Well, I experienced it. Now what? Right? Well, first of all, I can't force you to believe in the thing that I want you to believe in. And second of all, you can't force me to believe in the thing that you believe in, and especially if I feel like I experienced it. And even if I tell you the story, it goes through your filter, you might feel like I experienced something else. I've seen this too, where people die and they talk about being in hell. Well, I don't believe in hell, right? They'll tell a whole story about how they were violated and all this stuff. And it's like, it took me a while to figure it out. Why would this person talk about this if they really had a near-death experience? Why would they talk about hell when there is no hell? I mean, it's a perception, right? And then this nurse started talking about how she felt like she had put herself there. It wasn't like hell. It was like a self-imposed hell. So yeah, hell existed for those people. I would never want to go back and say, you didn't experience that. That didn't happen to you, right? Because to them, that would be like law is not justice. What do you mean? I experienced that. What do you mean you don't believe in it? Well, yeah, but it doesn't make sense with the other stuff that I know about what's real, about God and other things, right? Punishment, really? For forgetting who you are? I don't think so. You could be pretty bad. Yeah, you'll have to go through some rehabilitation and stuff. It's not punishment. When you die and you figured out what you did, you already know what you did wrong. You don't need to be told. Rehabilitated, yes, but that's like an energy thing. It's like you did a bunch of stuff that kind of makes you feel bad, and now you got to heal yourself. Same thing as down here. Difference is up there you know who you are, and down here you don't. You go, wow, I did that, but I did it because of this. And then when you go up there, you go, oh, there's no reason. I didn't have to do that, right? So whatever people are doing behind your back, people are misusing things. You just keep being you. Keep being that good person. Keep being that light worker. Just keep shining your light. I always say, you know, be the lighthouse, not the storm. Be the lighthouse, not the storm. Until we meet again.